I replied, I'm not leaving. Unless you fire me. You won't last a week living with me. Her voice was calm, confident, almost amused, as she stood in the doorway of her penthouse apartment, arms crossed, eyes sharp enough to cut through steel. I didn't flinch. I'm not leaving, I said evenly. Unless you fire me. That was the first time Evelyn Hart, CEO of Hartwell Industries, looked genuinely surprised. The woman who intimidated boardrooms, crushed competitors twice her size, and turned silence into a weapon, blinked. Living with your boss was not part of my job description. But neither was saving her reputation, her company, and possibly her sanity. Yet here I was. Overnight bag in one hand. Dignity in the other. And no intention of backing down. It was brutal. Ruthless. Personal. The board demanded she present a grounded image. A normal routine. A witness to her humanity. Someone to live with her. Someone they trusted. For reasons still beyond my understanding, she chose me. Her executive assistant. The man who brought her coffee exactly how she liked it. The one employee who never looked away when she was angry, or afraid. She laid them out like a contract. Rule 1, she said. You stay out of my way. Rule 2? You don't touch anything that isn't yours. And Rule 3? She hesitated. Just for a second. This changes nothing between us. I nodded. But we both knew it already had. Her apartment wasn't warm. It was elegant. Controlled. Perfect. And lonely. I took the guest room. She watched from the hallway, unreadable. You'll quit, she said. Everyone does. I'm still here, I replied. She turned away before I could see her expression. The next morning, I woke early. Made coffee. Breakfast. Nothing fancy. She walked into the kitchen in bare feet, hair loose, guard down. She froze. I didn't ask you to. I know, I said. You didn't have to. She sat anyway. Didn't say thank you. But she ate every bite. Days passed. I saw things no one else did. How she worked until midnight. How she forgot to eat. How she stood by the window during storms like she was waiting for something that never came. One night, she snapped at me. Why are you still here? I didn't answer right away. Because someone should be. Her anger faded into something quieter. Something dangerous. She tested me. Ignored me. Pushed my limits. Tried to provoke me into quitting. I stayed. I cleaned without being asked. Listened without interrupting. Argued only when it mattered. On day 7, she looked at me across the dinner table. You're still here. I told you, I said softly. It happened after a board meeting went wrong. She came home furious. Then silent. Then, shaking. I didn't touch her. Just sat beside her. She whispered, if I stop being strong, everything falls apart. I said, not tonight. For the first time, she cried. She started waiting for me in the mornings. Asking my opinion. Laughing, quietly, at my dry jokes. Once, she fell asleep during a movie. Her head rested on my shoulder. Neither of us moved. Are you emotionally involved with your assistant? She answered without hesitation. No. Then paused. But I trust him. That was louder than love. A job offer came for me. Better pay. No complications. I packed. She watched. You're leaving, she said flatly. I was never permanent, I replied. She looked away. Then said quietly, I didn't fire you. I unpacked. She exhaled like she'd been holding her breath for weeks. That night, she said, you changed things. So did you. We never rushed. We built something careful. Respect first. Trust next. Feelings last. The board stopped questioning her. The headlines faded. But something else grew. Months later, she stood in the same doorway. You lasted more than a week, she said. I smiled. You never tried to get rid of me. She stepped closer. I hoped you'd stay. I did, I replied. And I will. Not because she needed me. But because she finally wanted me. Staying changed everything. Not loudly. Not all at once. It changed the way she paused when she saw me in the room. The way her eyes searched my face before meetings. The way silence between us stopped feeling heavy, and started feeling safe. But safety was dangerous. Because once you feel safe, you start wanting more. We didn't talk about feelings. We talked about schedules. Deadlines. Market projections. But sometimes, in the quiet moments, standing too close in the elevator, brushing past each other in the kitchen, something electric lingered. One night she said, without looking at me. You're different at home. So are you. She nodded. Neither of us smiled. The board noticed. Not affection. Not intimacy. Comfort. You seem steadier, one director said. Evelyn glanced at me before answering. I am. That look wasn't accidental. And it wasn't professional. It happened on a Friday. Rain against the windows. Lights low. She poured wine. Paused with the glass in her hand. Do you ever regret staying? She asked. I thought carefully. No. She swallowed. Do you ever think, this arrangement complicates things? Yes. She turned to face me fully now. Then why are you still here? The answer sat on my tongue. But I didn't say it. Because once spoken, nothing would stay the same. She tripped. It was nothing, just a missed step. But I caught her instinctively. My hands on her arms. Her breath uneven. For 1 second, the world stopped. Her voice dropped to a whisper. If you let go, I'll fall. I won't, I said. We stayed like that too long. Then she stepped back. Good night. The door closed softly. I didn't sleep. The next week, she pulled away. Earlier mornings. Later nights. Professional tone. It hurt more than anger. Because it meant she felt it too. And she was afraid. HR called me in. This living situation, they said carefully, could be misinterpreted. I understood the message. Leave. Or risk everything. That night, I packed again. Not because I wanted to. Because I respected her too much not to. She saw the bag. Her face went pale. You're leaving, she said. I don't want to, I replied honestly. Then why? Because I care about you, I said quietly. And if I stay like this, it stops being fair to you. She looked at me for a long time. Then said something she'd never said before. Stay. Not as my boss. As her. I don't know how to do this, she admitted. I'm good at control. Not feeling. I stepped closer, but didn't touch her. We go slow, I said. We do it right. Her eyes filled, not with tears, but relief. You won't disappear? Not unless you fire me, I said softly. She almost laughed. We didn't rush into anything. We talked. About boundaries. About risks. About fear. She moved my room. Not into hers. Just closer. That mattered more. At a company event, cameras everywhere. Someone asked. "Miss Hart, who is he to you?" She didn't look at me for permission. "He's the person who stayed," she said. "When no one else did." That was enough. Later that night, standing on the balcony, city lights below. "You never said you loved me," she said. "I'm not in a rush," I replied. She nodded. "Good," she said. "Neither am I." Then she leaned her head against my shoulder. And this time, I stayed. He showed up unannounced. Tall. Polished. Familiar. Evelyn stiffened the moment she saw him standing in the lobby. "Julian," she said flatly. Her ex-fiancé. The man the board once loved. The man who walked away when things got hard. And now, he was back. Julian smiled like he still belonged. "I heard you've stabilized," he said, eyes flicking toward me. I stayed quiet. Evelyn didn't. "This is my assistant," she said calmly. "Also, my choice." Julian's smile tightened. "That's so?" he said. "Because the board asked me to come back." That night, she barely spoke. Julian didn't waste time. Dinner invitations. Private meetings. Subtle reminders of their past. "You and I were unstoppable," he told her. "Together, the board listens." She listened. Not because she wanted him. But because she was afraid of losing everything she'd built. Including me. I didn't confront her. Didn't accuse. Didn't demand. I watched her pull away again. And it hurt more than before. Because this time, I understood why. The board called a meeting. Private. Closed doors. When she came home, her face was pale. "They want stability," she said quietly. "A public engagement." My chest tightened. "With Julian?" She nodded once. "I haven't agreed," she added quickly. But she didn't say she wouldn't. I didn't raise my voice. "I won't compete with him," I said. "Or with your company." She looked at me like I'd struck her. "You think this is easy for me?" "I think," I replied, "you're choosing fear." Silence filled the room. Then she said the words I'd been dreading. "Maybe this is where you go." This time, she didn't stop me. I packed quietly. At the door, I turned back. "You never fired me," I said. "But you don't need to." She didn't answer. The door closed behind me. The apartment felt wrong without me. Too quiet. Too empty. She missed the coffee. The grounding presence. The honesty no one else dared give her. Julian noticed. "You seem distracted," he said. "I am," she replied. At the board dinner, cameras flashing. Julian reached for her hand. She pulled away. "I can't," she said. The room froze. "I tried choosing what looks right," she continued. "But it cost me the one person who never asked for anything." The board stared. "So be it," she finished. "I choose wrong less often when I choose honestly." My phone rang at midnight. "I fired you," she said. I smiled sadly. "Then I guess this is goodbye." "No," she said quickly. "I fired you, so I could ask you to stay." I returned to the apartment. She stood there, no armor, no title. "I don't know how to balance love and power," she admitted. "But I know I don't want either without you." I stepped closer. "This time," I said, "we face it together." She nodded. At the next press conference, she spoke clearly. "I don't live my life for optics anymore," Evelyn said. "I live it with integrity." No names. No explanations. But everyone understood. We didn't announce anything. We didn't rush. But at home, she reached for my hand without thinking. And this time, no one made her let go. Things didn't magically become easy. They became honest. Evelyn moved into a smaller penthouse, still elegant, but warmer. More windows. More light. She hired a new assistant. I became something else. Not an employee. Not a secret. A partner, outside the office, and slowly, inside her life. She struggled at first. Old habits don't disappear quietly. She'd apologize for working late. Ask permission to lean on me. I stopped her once. You don't have to earn rest, I said. You already deserve it. She didn't respond. She just reached for my hand. At a charity gala, someone asked casually. And you are? She didn't look at me first. She said my name. Then added, simply. He's with me. No title. No explanation. And somehow, that meant everything. One night, months later, she said. What if you wake up one day and realize I'm too much? I didn't answer immediately. I turned to her. What if I wake up and realize I finally chose someone who chose me back? She exhaled like she'd been waiting years to breathe. The proposal didn't happen at a gala. Or on a yacht. Or under flashing lights. It happened in the kitchen. Barefoot. Late. Coffee brewing. She said, I don't want to build anything else alone. She didn't kneel. She didn't have to. I didn't say yes right away. I said, on one condition. She smiled nervously. Of course. We stay equals, I said. No power games. No rescues. She nodded immediately. Always. So I said yes. The board found out later. Some raised eyebrows. Some resistance. Evelyn stood firm. I didn't lose control, she said. I learned trust. They couldn't argue with her success. Or her peace. Marriage didn't soften her. It grounded her. She still commanded rooms. But now, she laughed more. Delegated better. Went home on time. Strength didn't leave her. It just stopped being lonely. Someone once asked me, what's it like being married to a powerful woman? I answered honestly. She's powerful because she doesn't need to prove it anymore. That night, she kissed my cheek and said, you stayed when I dared you to leave. I smiled. You never really wanted me gone. We stood on the balcony years later. City lights below. Wind gentle. She leaned into me and whispered. You won. I shook my head. We did. Because love wasn't about lasting a week. It was about staying. When leaving would have been easier.